The alarm started screaming at 3 in the morning. Jake Morrison jumped from his chair at the communication desk. He had been working the night shift at Kepler Research Station for 2 years. Nothing exciting ever happened during his shift. Scientists slept. The moon was quiet. Space was empty. But tonight was different. The computer screens were flashing red. Numbers were moving fast across the monitors. Jake had never seen anything like this before. He pressed the emergency button. That would wake up the entire station. Dr. Helen Carter ran into the communication room 5 minutes later. Her hair was messy, and she was still wearing her sleeping clothes. She looked at the screens, and her eyes went wide. "What is this?" she asked. "I don't know," Jake said. "It started a few minutes ago. The computer says it's a signal from space. But it's not from Earth. It's not from any human ship." Helen sat down at her computer and started typing fast. She was the best language expert on the station. If anyone could figure out what the signal meant, it was her. "The signal is coming from the Vega star system," she said. "That's 47 light years away. Whatever sent this signal is not human." More people were running into the room now. Captain Lisa Rodriguez came in wearing her uniform. Behind her was Dr. Kevin Walsh and 6 other scientists. Everyone looked scared and excited at the same time. "Play the signal," Captain Rodriguez said. Jake pressed a button. Strange sounds filled the room. It was not like any language humans had ever heard. But mixed in with the alien sounds were numbers, mathematical patterns, universal concepts that any smart species would understand. Helen worked for 3 hours to translate the message. When she was done, her hands were shaking. "They're asking for help," she said quietly. "The message says, 'Help us. We are dying. The hunters have found us. They call themselves the Peaceful Collective. They say they are a group of alien species who live together in peace. But something called the Devourers has attacked them. These Devourers are destroying their worlds and eating their people." The room was silent for a long moment. "How long ago was this message sent?" Captain Rodriguez asked. "Based on the distance and the signal strength, about 6 months ago," Helen said. "If we sent the message back right now, it would take 47 years to reach them. If we wanted to help them, we would have to go there." Captain Rodriguez looked at the translated message on the screen. She had been in the military for 15 years. She had fought in 3 wars on Earth, but this was different. This was aliens asking humans for help. "I need to call Admiral Hayes," she said. Admiral Frank Hayes was not happy about being woken up at 4 in the morning. But when Captain Rodriguez explained what they had found, he was on a shuttle to the moon station within 2 hours. By the time Admiral Hayes arrived, Helen had translated more of the message. The news was worse than they thought. "The Peaceful Collective is made up of 7 different alien species," she explained to the Admiral. "They have lived together for thousands of years without any wars. They explore space together. They share knowledge and resources. They have never hurt anyone." "What about these Devourers?" Admiral Hayes asked. "They're a different kind of alien. They travel from star system to star system. They find peaceful species and destroy them. They take everything, resources, technology, and they eat the alien people." Admiral Hayes was quiet for a long time. He was thinking about Earth's military forces. Humans had only invented faster-than-light travel 5 years ago. Their longest trip had been to Alpha Centauri, just 4 light years away. Vega was much farther. "How many Devourer ships are there?" he asked. "The message mentions dozens of them. Each ship is as big as a city. They have weapons that can destroy entire planets." "And what kind of military does this Peaceful Collective have?" Helen looked uncomfortable. "That's the problem, sir. They don't have a military. They've never needed one. Their ships are designed for exploration and science. They have no weapons, no soldiers, no idea how to fight a war. Admiral Hayes understood the situation now. A group of peaceful aliens was being attacked by monsters. They had sent a message asking for help from anyone who might be listening. By accident, that message had reached Earth. "Sir," Captain Rodriguez said, "I need to point out that this could be dangerous for us. We don't know anything about these devourers. We don't know how strong they are. Our military is designed to protect Earth, not to fight wars in other star systems." Admiral Hayes nodded. "You're right, Captain. This is risky. But I've read the psychological profiles of peaceful species. These aliens can't fight back because they don't know how. They've probably never hurt anyone in their entire history." He stood up and walked to the window. He could see Earth in the distance, blue and beautiful. "The devourers think they've found easy victims," he said, "but they made one mistake. They attacked someone who called Earth for help. They don't know that they just asked the most dangerous predators in the galaxy to come and play." Admiral Hayes turned around and looked at everyone in the room. "Here's what we're going to do. We're going to save these aliens. We're going to stop these devourers. And we're going to show the galaxy what happens when someone hurts innocent people and Earth finds out about it." Captain Rodriguez looked worried. "Sir, we've never fought a war in space before. We don't know what we're up against." "That's true," Admiral Hayes said with a smile. "But the devourers have never fought humans before either. They've been picking on peaceful plant eaters for who knows how long. They have no idea what's coming for them." Within 6 hours, Admiral Hayes had called an emergency meeting of the Terran Defense Council. The debate was intense. Some people thought it was too dangerous. Others thought it was not Earth's problem, but Admiral Hayes had made up his mind. "We're going," he announced. "We're going to take the biggest military fleet in human history to Vega. We're going to save the peaceful collective. And we're going to make sure the devourers never hurt anyone again." The preparation began immediately. Every military ship that could travel faster than light was called back to Earth. Scientists worked day and night to improve weapons and shields. Soldiers trained for combat in alien environments. Captain Alex Turner was chosen to command the mission. He was young but experienced. He had fought against pirates in the outer solar system. More importantly, he understood that sometimes good people had to do violent things to protect innocent people. 72 hours after the alien message was received, 30 human warships left Earth orbit. The largest ship was called Vengeance. It carried enough weapons to destroy a small moon dot as the fleet jumped into faster-than-light travel. Captain Turner sent one final message to Earth. "We're going to answer their call for help. When we come back, the galaxy will know that Earth protects its friends." The human fleet came out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the Vega system. Captain Alex Turner stood on the bridge of the Vengeance, looking at the screens that showed what was happening around the fourth planet. It was worse than they had imagined. 3 massive ships hung in space near the planet. Each ship was the size of a small moon, dark and covered with strange spikes. They looked like giant metal insects. Smaller ships were flying back and forth between the big ships and the planet's surface. "Those must be the Devourers," said Commander Ryan Brooks, Turner's second in command. "Look at the size of those things." On the planet below, they could see cities burning. Huge machines were digging into the ground, taking everything valuable. The beautiful blue and green world was turning brown and gray. "Captain," said Lieutenant Amy Foster from the communication station, "I'm picking up signals from ships near the planet. They're not Devourer ships. The signals match the ones we received on Earth." "The peaceful collective," Turner said. "They're still alive. Can you contact them?" Amy worked at her controls for several minutes. Finally, a new voice came through the speakers. It was soft and musical, nothing like human voices. "Unknown ships, This is Harmony of Distant Stars of the Peaceful Collective. We do not recognize your design. Are you here to help the Devourers destroy us? Turner stepped forward. This is Captain Alex Turner of the Terran Defense Force. We received your message asking for help. We came from Earth to help you fight the Devourers. There was a long silence. When the alien spoke again, its voice was full of surprise and hope. You came. You actually came. But you are so few. The Devourers have hundreds of ships. We fear you have traveled very far just to watch. Use die. Turner looked at his tactical display. The alien was right. There were 3 giant Devourer ships and dozens of smaller ones. The human fleet had 30 ships, but they were much smaller than the Devourer vessels. Harmony of Distant Stars, we need you to move your ships away from the planet. We're going to attack the Devourers. Attack them? The alien sounded shocked. But they are so powerful. They have weapons that can destroy entire cities with one shot. Your ships are so small. Trust us, Turner said. We know how to fight. Please move your people to safety. While the peaceful collective ships moved away, Commander Brooks studied the enemy vessels. He had been Earth's best military tactician before joining the space fleet. Captain, these Devourer ships are interesting, Brooks said. They're built to scare peaceful species. Look at all those spikes and dark metal. But I don't think they're as strong as they look. What do you mean? Their shields are designed to stop energy weapons, the kind of lasers and plasma guns that peaceful species would use. But I don't see any protection against solid objects moving at high speed. Turner smiled. Humans had been throwing rocks at their enemies since the beginning of time. Now they just threw much bigger rocks much faster. What about nuclear weapons? Turner asked. I don't think they've ever seen anything like that before, Brooks said. Peaceful species don't build planet-killing weapons. The largest Devourer ship noticed the human fleet. A voice came over the communication system. It was deep and harsh, like metal scraping against stone. Small ships, you will surrender now or be destroyed. We are the Devourers. We have consumed 1,000 worlds. You cannot stop us. Turner picked up the microphone. This is Captain Turner. We're here to stop you from hurting these people. Leave this system now, and we won't destroy you. The Devourer voice laughed. It was a terrible sound. Destroy us? You have 30 tiny ships. We have vessels that have eaten the fleets of entire civilizations. Prepare to die. The biggest Devourer ship turned toward the human fleet. Weapons that looked like giant claws began to glow with red energy. All ships. This is Turner, the captain said on the fleet communication channel. Remember the plan. Stay fast, stay spread out, and hit them hard. These monsters have been bullying peaceful people for too long. Let's show them what happens when they pick on someone who fights back. The battle began when the Devourer ship fired its main weapon. A beam of red energy shot across space toward the Vengeance. But Turner had ordered his ship to move the moment he saw the weapon charging. The energy beam missed, hitting empty space. Their weapons are powerful but slow, Brooks said. They're used to fighting ships that don't dodge. The human ships split into 3 groups. Each group attacked one of the giant Devourer vessels. The human ships were small and fast. They moved like fighters around the huge enemy ships. The first attack came from the destroyer Lightning. It fired 6 nuclear missiles at the closest Devourer ship. The missiles moved so fast that the enemy didn't have time to shoot them down. Nuclear explosions lit up space like tiny suns. When the light faded, the Devourer ship was damaged. Part of its hull was cracked and burning. Their shields didn't stop the missiles, reported Captain Jenny White from the Lightning. The explosions went right through. The other human ships began their attacks. They fired missiles, railgun projectiles, and kinetic penetrators. Weapons that the peaceful species had never invented because they were too destructive. The Devourers tried to fight back, but their weapons were designed for a different kind of war. They were used to fighting ships that moved slowly and shot energy beams. The human ships moved like angry wasps, attacking from all directions at once. "Captain," said Lieutenant Foster, "the peaceful collective is asking what we're doing. They've never seen weapons like ours before." Turner was watching the tactical display. One Devourer ship was already heavily damaged. The second was turning to run away. The third was trying to get between the human fleet and the planet. "Tell them we're doing what humans do best," Turner said. "We're fighting for people who can't fight for themselves." The battle lasted 14 minutes. When it was over, 2 of the giant Devourer ships were floating dead in space. The third was trying to escape the system as fast as it could. "Should we let it go, Captain?" Brooks asked. Turner watched the fleeing ship on his screen. He thought about all the worlds the Devourers had destroyed, all the peaceful people they had killed and eaten. "No," he said, "we're going to follow that ship. We're going to find out where it's going and make sure this never happens again." Harmony of Distant Stars contacted the human fleet again. The alien's voice was full of wonder and gratitude. "Captain Turner, we have never seen anything like what you just did. In 14 minutes, you defeated enemies that we could not fight for 6 months. How is this possible?" Turner looked out at the damaged planet below. Smoke was still rising from the cities, but the Devourer machines had stopped working. "Harmony of Distant Stars, your people are peaceful. That's a beautiful thing. But our world taught us that sometimes you have to fight to protect what's good. We learned to be very good at fighting. Will you help us rebuild our world? First, we're going to make sure the Devourers can never hurt anyone again. Then we'll help you rebuild. That's what friends do." The human fleet began following the escaped Devourer ship. Captain Turner knew this was just the beginning. Somewhere out there was the rest of the Devourer fleet, and Turner intended to find them. The human fleet followed the damaged Devourer ship through 3 star systems. Captain Turner kept his ships far enough back so the enemy wouldn't know they were being followed, but close enough to track where it was going. Each system they passed through told the same horrible story. "Captain, look at this," said Commander Sarah Blake from the intelligence station. She was the fleet's expert at studying alien technology and behavior. "I'm detecting the remains of cities on the second planet in this system, but the buildings are completely destroyed. The planet looks like it was strip mined." Turner looked at the images on his screen. What had once been a beautiful world was now a dead rock. The oceans were gone. The atmosphere was thin and poisonous. Nothing could live there anymore. "How long ago did this happen?" Turner asked. "Based on the radiation levels and the condition of the ruins, I'd say about 2 years, Blake said. "Captain, I'm seeing the same pattern in the other systems we've passed through. The Devourers have been doing this for a long time." Dr. Kevin Walsh, the fleet's chief scientist, was studying the data from his research ship Discovery. He had been documenting everything they found. "Captain Turner, I've now confirmed evidence of destruction on 17 different worlds," Walsh reported. "Each one shows the same pattern. The Devourers arrive, destroy all resistance, strip the planet of resources, and take the population. Based on the size of these cities, we're talking about billions of innocent people." Turner felt anger growing in his chest. These weren't random attacks. This was systematic genocide. The Devourers weren't just raiders or pirates. They were monsters who destroyed entire civilizations for food and profit. "Sir," said Lieutenant Foster from Communications, "I'm receiving a priority message from Earth. Admiral Hayes wants to speak." With you, the face of Admiral Hayes appeared on the main screen. Even across the vast distance of space, Turner could see the determination in the old man's eyes. "Captain Turner, we've been monitoring your mission. The data you're sending back has convinced the Defense Council that this threat is bigger than we originally thought." "Yes, sir. These devourers have been destroying civilizations across this entire region of space. The Peaceful Collective was just their latest target. That's why I'm authorizing Protocol 7, Admiral Haas said. Dr. Walsh's ship is carrying our most advanced experimental weapons. You now have permission to use them." Turner looked surprised. Protocol 7 weapons were humanity's most secret military technology. They had been developed in case Earth ever faced an enemy that threatened human extinction. "Sir, are you sure? We don't know what we'll find when we catch up to this devourer ship." "Captain, based on your reports, we're not just saving one group of aliens anymore. We're stopping a threat that could eventually reach Earth. Use whatever force is necessary to end this." After Admiral Hayes ended the transmission, Dr. Walsh contacted Turner directly. "Captain, you should know what Protocol 7 weapons can do," Walsh said quietly. "These aren't just bigger guns. These are weapons designed to send a message that will be heard across the galaxy. If we use them, everyone will know that humanity is not to be messed with." Turner thought about the destroyed worlds they had seen. He thought about the Peaceful Collective hiding in fear while their world was torn apart. He thought about all the other peaceful species out there who might be next. "Doctor, prepare the weapons. If these devourers want to be monsters, we'll show them what real monsters look like." The devourer ship finally stopped running. It had reached a massive space station orbiting a red giant star. The station was huge, carved out of what looked like a captured asteroid. It was covered with weapon platforms and docking bays. "My God," said Commander Brooks, studying the tactical display. "That thing is bigger than our moon." Scanner readings showed hundreds of devourer ships docked inside the station. Energy signatures indicated a population in the millions. This wasn't just a base. This was the heart of the Devourer Empire. "Captain," said Blake, "I'm detecting at least 300 ships in that station. Most of them are the same size as the ones we fought at Vega. Some are even bigger." Turner looked at the odds. 30 human ships against 300 Devourer vessels, plus whatever weapons the station had. Any military academy would call this suicide, but Turner wasn't thinking like a military academy. He was thinking like a human from Earth, where his ancestors had survived by being the smartest and most dangerous predators on a world full of deadly creatures. "All ships, this is Turner. I know what you're all thinking. The odds are impossible. They outnumber us 10 to 1. A sensible species would retreat and call for help." He paused and looked around his bridge. Every member of his crew was ready to fight, even though they knew they might die. "But we're not a sensible species. We're humans. We're from a death world where everything tried to kill us for millions of years. We survived because we never gave up, and we never backed down when something threatened our families." Turner opened a channel to the entire fleet. "The Peaceful Collective became our friends the moment they asked for help. Every innocent species these monsters destroyed were people we could have saved if we'd been here sooner. We're not just fighting for victory. We're fighting for justice." He turned to his weapons officer. "Lieutenant Carter, prepare all Protocol 7 weapons for launch." "Yes, sir. All experimental warheads are armed and ready." Turner opened a communication channel to the Devourer station. He wanted them to hear what was coming. "This is Captain Alex Turner of the Terran Defense Force. You have made war on innocent people. You have destroyed peaceful civilizations. You have committed genocide against species that never hurt anyone." The response came quickly, a harsh voice filled with arrogance and contempt. "Humans, we have heard of your small victory at Vega. You Destroyed 3 of our oldest ships with your primitive weapons. You think this makes you dangerous? We have consumed the fleets of 100 worlds. We will add your ships to our collection and your species to our food stores." Turner smiled. It was not a nice smile. "You made one mistake. You attacked people under our protection. Now you get to learn why Earth is called a death world." Turner gave the order he had been thinking about since they started following the Devourer ship. "All ships, commence attack. Show them what happens when monsters threaten our friends." The space around the red giant star filled with the light of human weapons as 30 ships began their assault on an empire of monsters. The Devourers had spent centuries terrorizing peaceful species who couldn't fight back. They were about to discover what happened when they met a species that specialized in violence. The final battle for the future of this region of space was about to begin, and the Devourers were about to learn that they had awakened something far more dangerous than they could imagine. The battle began at 08:00 hour ship time. The Vengeance led the attack, firing the first Protocol 7 weapon at the massive Devourer station. The experimental warhead was unlike anything humanity had ever built before. It didn't just explode. It created a temporary black hole that pulled in everything within a 50-kilometer radius. Devourer Station shook like a mountain in an earthquake. Entire sections of the structure were torn away and consumed by the artificial gravity well. Alarms began screaming across the station as the Devourers realized they were under attack by weapons they had never seen before. "Direct hit on their primary weapon array," reported Lieutenant Carter from the weapons station. "Their main guns are offline." Captain Turner watched as Devourer ships began pouring out of the station like angry wasps from a disturbed nest. There were more ships than his scanners could count, but Turner wasn't worried. He had studied the enemy for days. He knew their weaknesses. "All ships execute Battle Plan Alpha," Turner ordered. "Remember, they're used to fighting enemies who stand still and shoot lasers. We're going to show them how Earth predators hunt." The human fleet split into 6 groups, each attacking from a different direction. The ships moved fast, never staying in one place long enough for the Devourer weapons to lock onto them. They fired kinetic rounds, nuclear missiles, and plasma torpedoes. While dancing between the much larger enemy vessels, Commander Brooks was coordinating the tactical display. "Captain, their ships are designed for intimidation, not efficiency. Look at all that unnecessary armor and those decorative spikes. They're slow and clumsy compared to our vessels." The first wave of Devourer ships tried to surround the human fleet, but the humans were too fast. Captain Jenny White's destroyer Lightning flew through a gap between 2 enemy vessels and launched 6 nuclear torpedoes at point-blank range. The explosions tore both Devourer ships apart. "This is lightning to all ships," White reported. "Their shields are useless against nuclear weapons. They've never seen anything like this before." Dr. Walsh's research ship Discovery was hanging back from the main battle, but it was far from inactive. Walsh had been studying Devourer technology and had found something interesting. "Captain Turner, I've discovered something important," Walsh said over the communication channel. "The Devourers use a centralized command system. All their ships are controlled from the station. If we can destroy their command center, their entire fleet will be helpless." "Where is the command center?" Turner asked while watching his tactical display. The human ships were winning, but slowly. There were just too many enemy vessels deep inside the station. "But Captain, there's a problem. The command center is protected by layers of armor that our ship weapons can't penetrate. We'd need someone to go inside and destroy it manually." Turner understood immediately. This wasn't a job for ships and missiles. This was a job for soldiers. "Lieutenant Colonel Mike Davis, are your Marines ready for a boarding action?" Davis was the commander of the fleet's ground forces. He had trained his Marines for combat in alien environments, but he had never expected to fight inside an enemy space station. "Sir, my Marines are ready for anything. But how do we get inside that station? It's got to be crawling with devourers." Turner looked at the tactical display again. The human ships were holding their own, but they couldn't keep fighting forever. They needed to end this battle quickly. "Dr. Walsh, can you get a shuttle close enough to the station to drop off Marines?" "I can do better than that, Captain. I can ram the Discovery into their docking bay. The ship's armor will protect us long enough to get the Marines inside." It was a dangerous plan. Dr. Walsh would be sacrificing his ship and probably his life. But it was the only way to reach the command center. "Doctor, you don't have to do this," Turner said. Walsh's voice was calm and determined. "Captain, I've seen what these monsters did to 17 different worlds. Billions of innocent people are dead because of them. If my ship can stop them from killing billions more, then it's a fair trade." The Discovery broke away from the human fleet and flew straight toward the station. Devourer ships tried to intercept it, but the other human vessels covered Walsh's approach. The research ship crashed through the station's outer defenses and smashed into a docking bay like a meteor. Lieutenant Colonel Davis and his 50 Marines poured out of the wrecked ship and into the station. The Devourers inside were not prepared for human soldiers. They had spent centuries fighting peaceful species who surrendered quickly. They had never faced warriors from a death world. The Marines fought through corridor after corridor. The Devourers were larger and stronger than humans, but they were slow and clumsy. Human soldiers were fast, smart, and absolutely ruthless when protecting innocent people. "Colonel Davis to Captain Turner," came the voice over the communication system. "We've reached the command center. These Devourers fight like they've never seen real combat before. They don't know how to handle soldiers who fight back." "Understood, Colonel. Destroy that command center and get out of there." Davis and his Marines planted explosive charges throughout the command center. When the charges detonated, every Devourer ship in the system suddenly stopped moving. Their computers were dead. Their weapons were offline. They were floating helplessly in space. "All Devourer vessels, this is Captain Turner," he announced on all frequencies. "Your command center is destroyed. Your fleet is helpless. Surrender now, and you will be treated according to the laws of war. Continue fighting, and we will destroy every ship in this system." Most of the Devourer ships surrendered immediately. A few tried to fight with manual controls, but they were quickly destroyed by the human fleet. The battle was over in the days that followed. Captain Turner learned the true scope of what they had accomplished. The station had been the center of the Devourer Empire. Every raid, every destroyed world, every act of genocide had been planned from this location. The surviving Devourers were placed in protective custody. Human psychologists and alien experts would work to rehabilitate their violent culture. Those who had committed war crimes would face justice. Those who could be reformed would be given a chance to build a better society. Dr. Helen Carter, who had translated the original message from the Peaceful Collective, established diplomatic relations with 14 different species that had suffered under Devourer attacks. The grateful aliens couldn't understand why humans had risked everything to save strangers. "It's simple," Turner explained to Harmony of Distant Stars during the peace negotiations. "When good people ask for help, humans answer. That's who we are." 6 months later, the Galactic Peacekeeping Force was established with headquarters on Earth's moon. Admiral Hayes became the first Supreme Commander, with authority to protect peaceful species from aggressive empires. The Force's motto, suggested by the Peaceful Collective, was placed on every ship and station. When good people call for help, Deathworlders answer. Humanity had received its first distress call from the stars. Their response had changed the galaxy forever. Across known space, peaceful species could sleep safely knowing that Earth was watching. And potential aggressors whispered warnings about the Deathworlders, who came when innocent people called for help. The age of galactic peace had begun, protected by the descendants of the most successful predators in Earth's history.